Hello, lords and ladies! Welcome back to Cartoon Hangout, your place for all things cartoon. Remember when I said in my previous video that some fans may consider episode 7 to be filler? Well, this week's episode definitely was filler, but while the plot took a back seat, we did get some other plot, if you know what I mean. In all seriousness, though, this one does ditch the story for, I guess, a more character-driven, if I can call it that, episode that sees our two protagonists making their way to Aku, I presume, or somewhere. It's not really stated, but given the events of the last episode, that's all I can really guess. Not sure why they didn't fly on their bird, either. Instead, they take a ride on a creature that kind of reminded me of Morrowind for some reason, and fight a furry flash mob. No, okay, I'm joking, but this was probably one of the more hilarious moments in this episode. They literally coordinated enough to spell out, "Die, Samurai Jack," and expected him to notice. What would have happened if he hadn't? It's incredibly silly, but I'll forgive it, as it nets at some moments like this, with Jack and Ashi being really shy around each other. That's actually the character-driven aspect of the episode, the blossoming relationship between these two characters, and I'm torn on it. On the one hand, I definitely am one of the fans who ship them, but was a little too afraid to voice that because, well, reasons. One of the reasons being I've gotten flack for doing so in past videos, as well as other people seeing it more as a father-daughter relationship, and I didn't want to be accused of peddling incest. Anyway, the main reason I'm torn on this, though, has everything to do with, I guess, the pacing of it. I'm fine with characters suddenly realizing, oh crap, I think I like you. I'm totally cool with that. But sometimes a romance pops up out of nowhere, leaving you scratching your head as to how it happened. In this case, I can't get too bothered, as there's been some slight hints in behavior since the two teamed up that indicated a mutual attraction to each other. Mostly on Jack's part, I think, but in the last two episodes, it's become a little clearer that Ashi feels the same, and it's on full blast in this episode. I think I just would have preferred a buffer between the events of this episode and maybe one more episode to build it up. Maybe that'll be something that will occur over the remaining episodes, now that they're clearly hooking up per the closing scenes of this episode. Now, if that was a clusterfuck of an explanation, basically I wish the build-up had been slightly more telegraphed than what we got. But ultimately, I am glad to see them together, and at least it's not nearly as out of the blue as the Korra Asami romance from Legend of Korra. Oh, don't act like there were hints in that show. There were none. Beyond that, there's almost nothing more to say. The rest of the episode involves the two taking shelter from a sandstorm in a crashed alien prison ship, which serves as the means to get these two characters to hook up, I suppose. Nothing says romance like being almost killed by literally the worst thing in the universe, but kudos for the sickening design. The atmosphere was definitely spooky, as is the usual for seemingly abandoned space prisons, and Ashi losing her clothes satisfied a lot of, itches. Mostly comical ones, you perverts. Who am I kidding, though, right? Jack's reaction was just the best, though. There was a lot of, not a lot, but there was a couple of naughty comedic moments in this episode. Some that might be seen as really lowbrow, like low-hanging fruit. And wink, wink. See what I did there? That was low-hanging fruit. But I actually thought it was hilarious. I didn't expect those jokes to be in Samurai Jack. So just the sheer absurdity of it being there was just the best thing ever. But all around, it was a really good episode. Like last week's episode, though, it's probably not going to be one of my top favorites of the season, unless I later decide the bits of fan service and jokes we got make up for a somewhat slow walk to the series finale. And it probably will. But what did you think of this episode? I for sure want to hear your thoughts and reactions about Jack and Ashi finally hooking up, and the humorous bits of fan service we got. Let me know down below, and make sure to subscribe to both my channels for more cartoon content. Thanks for watching. Take care.